You really don't have to all of a sudden transform yourself into a researcher to fit the mold of EB-1. Don't worry about, volunteering does not count. Just start doing the work. There are opportunities that are right under your nose that could qualify you for that criteria. How can you satisfy the judging criteria when you cannot peer review papers? This is also one of those I'm going to mess up my own happiness because I don't think I'm able to do this kind of situations in EB-1, where you think, man, Aditi, I've never written a paper. How can I peer review? How can I approach journals to give me papers? They are not giving me because they think I have just a regular master's. There are so many other ways that you can make this happen. I'll give you 3 specific examples today. I'm going to give you examples from academia and I'm going to give you comparable examples from industry. Because remember, I got my green card as a professor. Now, when you have to strike off the judging criteria as a professor, yes, the most obvious one is journal paper reviews, but I could have shown that I satisfied this criteria by doing other things as well. So the first thing that I could have used, which I did not use because my lawyer did not tell me how to use it, but I used it in my tenure and promotion dossier, is my role as a part of a reviewing committee when my university at the time was getting accredited by this body called Middle States. It is essentially a accreditation body that legitimizes a university. And a university has to pass certain standards mandated by this association for the university to be able to get this certificate. Because after you get this certificate, then your students are able to apply for federal grants. So the impact of getting the certification was massive. I was the person appointed from my department to run this assessment initiative. I was a part of the task force and a main one at that. I could have shown that as proof of judging, but there is a small caveat to that. I had to show to the USCIS officer that this was beyond my job description, that a professor is usually not tasked with responsibilities like this, that I was either chosen, handpicked, or I had to show some sort of competence to be able to do this job. And that is beyond my job description. You too can do that. For example, if you are a part of a company that files patents, I'm taking this example straight out of the last job in which I was. Similar committees are present in the companies you work for. As an example, in the last job that I was, we filed for 3 patents. Now, before going to the lawyer and the lawyer filing it with USPTO, there was a middle body that did a quality assurance check. That was the patent committee, where we presented our patent to them. They gave us feedback how to make the patent better, possible pushbacks that USPTO could give us, and we refined our strategy. That can be an instance, albeit a weak one, I will say, because it's still within your job. So USCIS can say that as an instance of judging. But if you make it completely clear that this is way beyond the job description of your work, that this is extra, that the companies, your peers depend on your expert counsel for this technology, then that can qualify as evidence of judging. Number 2, the second way I showed judging was by reviewing books. Again, as a professor, a significant part of my job was to teach. So there was an initiative in my university with something called Open Access Library. So we had to vote on books that we would purchase or we would include in this library or not. I volunteered to review a book. In the same way, there are books coming out of the field based on the work that you do. You can approach the editors of books on the topic where you excel in if you could review or give your expert commentary on the book. That's why you will see folks go to Manning Publishing and this new kid in the block, Springer Nature, to review books. That is one legitimate way of doing it. But don't do it randomly. Make sure that it aligns with your niche. But yeah, reviewing books is another strategy. And to be honest with you, having published a book, I can tell you the rigor that it takes to publish or review a book is significantly lower, as counterintuitive as it sounds, significantly lower than journal submissions. So you can leverage that. The third one that I could have used as a professor/academic to show instance of judging is being a part of a dissertation committee. Now, I was not a part of a dissertation committee, partly because I was working in a university which only had undergrads, and you don't have dissertations among undergrads, you have thesis. It didn't even have masters. But I have had I've had friends who because of their excellence in the work that they do, were invited by other doctoral students from different universities. They got an invitation to be on their committees. So one of my friends, he got an invitation from a doctoral student at Oxford University to sit in on their panel as an external reviewer. That's an instance of judging. In the same way, if you are associated with bodies like IEEE, and if they have a body that assesses standards or 5G standard committees, you can volunteer. Don't worry about, oh, volunteering does not count. Just start doing the work. I'm telling you what works. So you can volunteer, you can be a part of those committees that judges how standards are made in your field. That can count as an instance of judging. So you really don't have to all of a sudden transform yourself into a researcher to fit the mold of EB-1. There are opportunities that are right under your nose that could qualify you for that criteria. You just have to focus where the focus needs to be. I hope this was helpful.